A wide-angle lens is very handy to have, and Focus Nordic, the importer of Tamron, asked me to test this 11 to 20 millimeter f2.8 lens from Tamron. I said, of course, yes, and that was the disclaimer. The lens is not mine. It was provided by them, and thanks Focus Nordic for letting me test this lens. Hi, it's Peter here. Now let's start with the specifications of this lens. The focal length is from 11 to 20 millimeters, and the aperture is constant f2.8, which is good. I will talk about that a bit later. And here is an image, not taken here on this abandoned airport, but earlier when I was testing this lens in downtown Helsinki. Here's the 11 millimeter. The right side is the 20 millimeter. So here you can see roughly how the different focal lengths are. The equivalent to full frame, which is, well, in a way, a stupid way to say, but it is something that I find to be useful. We're so used to the full frame equivalent thing. It is 16 millimeters to 30 millimeters, so that's roughly, so it is quite wide. Very good lens to use in many situations, and that's why I wanted to test this, even though, like I said, I had the Fuji version of roughly the same lens. And what's really interesting also is the closest focusing distance. You can get really close with it, as you see from these few images that I made with this earlier. That is something that is always a handy feature in a lens. If it's possible to focus really close, then it's it makes the lens more versatile, because nothing is more annoying than you going through now there's something in my throat, going too close and then you need to back up. But with this one you can always stick the lens to the subject. Here are some more specs from the Tamron website about this lens. And then the look and feel of this lens feels really premium, and that's something I also like about a lens, that it feels good and it's not feels cheap or anything. When you buy something, you want the thing to feel premium, and I think that's one of the big upsides on this. The feel on this X20 is nice. It's not too big and not too small either. It's quite balanced on this one, so nothing wrong with the look and feel of this lens. And then the usability. I already talked about the good balance on this. The only small thing is about the size, that the space between the grip and the lens is not very big. So if I needed to use gloves, it might be a bit too tight, but it's not that bad. But it is, yeah, something that if you have big hands and big gloves, it might be a bit hard to handle. Otherwise, it's quite well made for Fuji cameras. One thing about the usability is that I don't like is that it doesn't have the aperture ring like most of the Fuji lenses nowadays have. And that is something that I've already within a month gotten so used to using the manual aperture ring, which I find to be really good way of changing the aperture. But on this one, I don't have it. The reason probably is because the same lens is also for Sony E-Mount for their APS-C size cameras or sensor size cameras, and that's why they probably left it out. It makes it a bit more inexpensive in a way, so that you don't have to make a different type of lens for the Fuji one. And then the focusing ring is not very usable. It's just turns around and goes forever, so it's not that responsive in a way. But on the other hand, to be honest, I don't really use manual focus that much, even though I do like it to be good, because sometimes when it's needed, it is really good. The zoom ring is nice and stiff, and it is not too long, so it's very good for photography. You can go really fast from 11 millimeters to 20 millimeters, and that's good. A few things about the video usage. It has some focus breathing. It's not that bad, especially if you don't need to focus from real close to infinity, then it's not really a big problem. And also if you zoom in, the focus won't stay. But then it is a constant aperture from 11 to 20 millimeters, and I think that's a really good thing. It works well in that sense for video too. So this could be a potential lens for video, for B-roll, for example, because of the wide angle of view. And then the image quality. And there's a small disclaimer. Fuji has two different types of sensors. They have this 26 megapixel sensor like as the S20 has, and then there is the 40 megapixel cameras X-T5, and I believe it's XH2 that has also the 40, XH2 I think it is. So I don't know how this lens performs on a 40 megapixel sensor, so everything I show here is the version 26 megapixel sensor. And on that one, it's very good image quality all the way from F2.8. But, you know, roughly their F4, F5.6, you get even better results. So in that sense, I wouldn't be too worried about the image quality. There is some vignetting and barrel distortion quite a bit, but Lightroom can fix it, and Photolab 7 from DxO does even better job in fixing it. But so I wouldn't be too worried about those things. They can be easily fixed with modern technology and image editing, and it does it automatically. It already applies the lens modules in DxO and also in the lens recipe or whatever you call that in Lightroom. So that's not really a problem in that sense. I've gotten really good results. Nothing wrong with the image quality in that sense. I can't say about Capture One. I haven't tested that, so I don't know how Capture One handles the images. What I've heard is that Capture One is better for Fuji cameras. They render the image better. They can understand the X-trans sensor better than other image editing software or raw converters. And if you have experienced that, or you have tried the DxO, not the DxO, but the Capture One, please let us know in the comments down below how much better it is. I do have the 10 to 24 millimeter f4 lens, and here are some comparison images with this compared to that. There isn't really that much of a difference, and the only better thing on this one in practical use is the F2.8. It's one stop faster. But as I said, I haven't really pixel peeped. That's not my style. I don't really pixel peep into images when I photograph. If it looks good, then fine. If it doesn't, then something's wrong with it. So, but I don't go to the pixel level with really big magnifications to check out the image quality. I don't think it's the most important thing in photography. It's more about some other stuff like storytelling, what you feel when you see the image and all that. And then the price is not that bad. It's a little over 800 euros / dollars, and I think it's a very good value for money. Of course it's a lot of money, but if you need something this wide as a zoom lens, then yeah, it's a valid option for you. If you compare it to the 10 to 24 f4 lens from Fuji, it's a little over 1,000 euros. And then if you take the 8 to 16 millimeters f2.8, and that's $1,500 / euros. So this is a very good option for those. I haven't tested the 8 to 16 millimeter, which is also quite interesting lens, but I haven't tested it, so I can't really say how it compares to this. And then the conclusion: if I didn't have the 10 to 24 f4 already, which I got used, I would buy this lens. Yes, definitely I would, because I really like the lens, and it's well made, good image quality and all that. So that's why I think it's a good option for. But like always, don't buy if you don't need it. But if there is a need for this type of lens, then check out this option. And I do have some affiliate links in the description down below. And if you haven't seen my video why I bought some Fuji cameras, go check out those videos and see the reasons or learn about my reasons. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.